Stevens Worldwide Van Lines presents another captivating installment of Moving Excellence.
Hello, I'm Joe Biskner, President and Chief Operating Officer here at Stevens Worldwide Van Lines. If we're to be the leader in the relocation industry and continue to provide opportunity for our employees, our agents, and our professional van operators, we have to plan for our success. We've done it for over 100 years, but with so many facets to our industry, an ever-changing world, and functions that we have to get right, we have to make sure we focus on what's important. That is strategic planning. Last year, with your feedback, we learned that we needed to communicate more effectively and be clearer about our direction. So we've spent a lot of time devising and revising a process that will help us communicate our strategy and focus on those areas that we must. I'd like to take a few moments and tell you about the direction we are heading, why we are heading in that direction, how we're going to get there, and how you can help. Let's take a look at our graphic representation of the strategic plan. This is a visual explanation of where we are today. Let me begin by explaining the elements and how they are linked. First, the enterprise value, shown in green, just means the value of Stevens Worldwide Van Lines. It's what we are worth, and therefore, it represents how much we can offer back to our employees, our agents, and our PVOs in things like ESOPs, special rates, and benefits. It's where it all comes together for each one of us. And it's the base for what we do. To get there, we need the other element that's in green, and that's the customer acquisition and retention. Customer acquisition and retention is the way we create enterprise value. It's all about finding customers, serving them well, and retaining them. And how do we do that? With strategic management, shown here in blue, just above enterprise value. Strategic management is a huge focus of many, many people. It's watching our trends and adjusting to them. It's monitoring financials and managing our balance sheet accordingly. It's influencing the industry, watching and reacting to what's going on. It's creating a strategic plan and setting up our organization to thrive, not just survive. It's with our strategic vantage point that we can see all of the influences around us and continue to create the opportunity for our employees, our agents, and our professional van operators. Agents, PVOs, employees is a huge and reliable and strong group. It's all of us. We are the engine behind Stevens Worldwide Van Lines. And by following the strategic direction, we are aligning our power. For 2013, we must focus that power on where we can make the biggest impact. The area in the middle, in the gray, those are what are called our strategic pillars. Those are the things that we've got to get right. You'll see there are 4 that we're focusing on, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. A year ago, we talked about we need to do some cause marketing, that we have to get our name out there and become a national brand. I see that pillar a little bit further in the back, because we finished a process last year and produced our PINK initiative. We know one of our pillars is we have to get our bank financing correct. I'm happy to say that's in place, so it doesn't need as much focus right now. So the way that the graphic shows us is that the things that we need to work on right now, which need our most focus, are at the front. But it doesn't mean that other items that you're working on aren't important. It's just that we've got to focus on those that are at the forefront. Let's delve into these 2013 strategic pillars. As you can see, they are quality, capacity, regulatory compliance, and reputation. Let me share a few thoughts on these with you, and then I'll ask some other leaders in the company to provide their thoughts as well. Quality. Wow, this is big. Our long history of quality is measured by things like customer feedback, safety, and longevity. We need to be diligent about focusing here. It's an attitude. As Jim Welsh often reminds us, it's total customer satisfaction. Capacity. We need capacity to be able to serve customers. That means trucks. That means professional van operators, agency partners, the works. Then let's examine regulatory compliance. Regulations in our industry are getting stricter and stricter, and they change often. We believe they keep us safe, honest, and on the right track. We must monitor, adjust, and learn to keep on the forefront here. And the last of the 2013 strategic pillars, reputation. Another whirlwind here with lots of new aspects. Reputation begins with how we do our work. Is it careful? Is it respectful? Is it within the law? Are we professional? Are we kind? Do we treat others, customers, regulators, each other, the way we want to be treated? And then it goes on to what people say about us, whether it's the post-move surveys or on the many, many online review sites like Angie's List or Yelp, or even the darker ones like movingscam.com. And last but not least, let's talk about the white arrows. That's the cycle of how this works. If we continue to acquire and retain our customers, it'll continue to make the enterprise grow. As the enterprise grows, we can do new things. We can create more opportunity. Only through strategic management and working with our employees, our agents, and our professional van operators will we achieve our success. So I've gathered some of the leaders of our company together, those folks that have helped us define what our pillars were going to be for 2013, so we could talk about why we selected those out of all of the many that we could choose. Let's start talking about quality. I mean, quality's been one of our pillars for a long time, and it's been in the forefront. You know, in an industry where we have to get quality right, we have customer satisfaction scores over 90%. Why is quality still one of these pillars?
You talk about total customer satisfaction and quality. There is no second take on quality. When you walk in that customer's home, there's no replay.
Quality really starts even before that. It starts with how do our facilities look? How do we answer the phone? I mean, it's something that each and every one of us can have an impact on.
It's making sure that the impression that they have from the beginning and during and when everything is done is just leaves a positive imprint on their mind that they want to tell somebody. You want them to tell their friends, everybody they know, how good their move was.
Yeah, Jim, I think you said it the best. It really is the overall move experience the customer has. And our customers keep telling us a few things that we can continue to improve on. One is packing. You know, packing always comes up as a big thing that we need to continue improving on. One reason why we keep doing the University of TCS. Right. And we're going to be doing a lot of things to show better packing skills. Also communication. Communication is another thing. You know, from the salesperson to the professional van operator to Stevens Corporate to the agent, we always need to be communicating with the customer. And 3, timeliness. You know, was a professional van operator on time? Was a salesperson on time?
Well, let's talk about the next pillar, one that we hadn't talked about in a long time. That's capacity.
It's about the actual service provider that's behind the wheel, as well as the crews and the labor, you know, that our agents are able to provide to our PVOs when they're loading other areas. That is a major challenge.
You have some major efforts going on with recruiting and some special programs. What are some of those?
All of you dispatchers out there that come nose to nose with our competitors, our competitor driver comes up to your window in the morning, you give them their paperwork. Why don't you make yourself $2,000 and get them on board with Stevens? If you think about how many drivers you see, how many van operators you see from our competitors coming to your yard every day, you could probably make yourself easily $4,000 to $6,000 a year.
What are the things that we should tell people that would make drivers want to come to us?
The one thing about working with Stevens is that they feel like you're treating them like a person and that you really do care about their family. That's very key, and I think that's important for anyone thinking about signing on with Stevens, is that we care about you as a person and your family, and it shows every day when we interact with our PVOs out there.
So on this capacity issue, I mean, we need creativity. We need people to be thinking outside of the normal way that we move our customers and be thinking of the next way. We need you to think that 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 way.
Which helps go right into another pillar of reputation. It starts with how we do our business. And we've kind of talked about that quite a bit.
The internet is one of the number one ways to get business these days. And you can be in your car and get on your smartphone and you see a Stevens truck or a moving truck go by, and if the driver is driving too fast, they can get on their cell phone and type up, write a little review on, don't move with that company. And kudos off to Barb, you and your marketing department for really stepping up this year and doing a lot of reputation management over the internet.
Yeah, the internet is a big one. We do a lot of monitoring the good sites like Angie's List and Yelp to look for positive reviews, and we encourage customers to do that. But it's not usually the ones that are satisfied that get online. It's usually the ones that are dissatisfied. So we watch for those and try to deal with them.
Yeah, reputation is everything. That we have a small window to develop a lasting reputation in terms of what and how we did our job.
Most people aren't going to talk about the great job that they had, because we have our expectations are the same as everybody else's, right? Theirs are the same as ours. I expect that you did a good job.
Yeah.
When we don't meet those expectations, or there's a disconnect between the expectations, then it's up to us to repair that reputation by dealing with our customers expeditiously and fairly. So when somebody has an issue, let's resolve that issue. And that goes a long way to helping our reputation. The last thing that we really need to talk about, because it's the pillar that we're focusing on this year, is regulation.
Oh, yeah.
For so many years, we have prided ourselves on crossing the T's and dotting the I's. And this past year, we were surprised with some of the regulations that have come into our industry. Most notably CSA 2010, which has created a lot of animosity throughout the industry and a lot of grief with our PVOs. It's impacted our capacity because people are being stopped at the roadside. And then we've got carb regulation. So there's a lot of regulation going on right now.
The government is mandated to cut spending. One way to cut spending is through technology. So when you look at regulation, in terms of, and it's all based in our business on safety. So in order to judge safety, you must have the technology to track it. And through that those tracking devices is how they're going to decrease spending for the U.S. taxpayer.
Let's not forget, we want safe roads.
Without a doubt.
We want clean air. So we recognize that this regulation, while it has changed the way that we have to do things, is intended to make the highway safer, which makes our customers safer, makes our PVOs safer, makes our agents safer, makes our employees safer.
It's a continuous educational process. It's really a 24/7.
And Jim, I think you just said it right there. It's education.
Right.
We have regulation and education, and our best thing we can do at Stevens for our employee, for our PVOs, and our agency family is continue to educate them on the regulations.
Right. And we need to understand that all of this regulation is impacting our PVOs much more than it is us.
Oh, yeah.
They're impacted directly. But that regulation still impacts the amount of capacity we have, and then it impacts whether we have enough capacity to get all of our customers delivered when they want to be delivered, which impacts our reputation. Yeah. While we all agree that we want safer highways, we want cleaner air, the problem so far has been that there's not been a clear definition of what the rules are. Once we know the rules, we can adapt. So our biggest frustration here is the rules are set, or I should say proposed, there's feedback, there's not a definitive date of this is how it's going to be and when it's going to be, and then there are so many challenges right up to that we're constantly chasing a moving target, and that makes it difficult, and is really why it has become a pillar for us this year. Maury.
Joe.
4 pillars. Which one has the most impact? Which one's going to be the game changer?
Capacity, Jim. I'm putting it on your shoulders.
Quality is and will always be the game changer, because if you do not have quality, you don't have customers on your truck, so you don't have to worry about your reputation.
Or capacity.
You don't have to worry about capacity.
Well, all right.
Thank you.
Great. Great chatting with you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. And now you'll hear from some of your colleagues and their perspective of the pillars and how those pillars will impact their everyday work.
It's great working for a company that helps guide us in a direction for all of our employees and the managers, so we all have a common goal that we try to reach for. The claims department impacts all of the strategic pillars. We have most times when the claims come in, the customers are already unhappy because of experiences that have happened. So we try to change that around so that we help monitor the company's reputation and give quality service.
This is John Hopkins out of the Waterford office. The strategic plan shows me as a frontline employee where my company is headed. It shows me what and where my efforts need to lie toward that goal. It will help me to strive to do better toward our corporate goals, as well as push my team toward that common goal as well. The one question that we need to ask ourselves is this: did my customer get their money's worth? And ultimately, we all have to work toward these goals by putting ourselves in our customer's shoes.
Quality and brand recognition start with fully understanding customer needs and expectations, then effectively communicating these expectations and needs to all service providers, from customer service, production, central operations to accounting. David Best, Toledo.
It is very important, I believe, in a company to have guidance, to have that strategic plan at the higher level so that all different levels of the corporation can get involved and we're all working for a common goal. The pillars give us direction not only in our department but just in our day-to-day work. The way we planned, the way we work with each other, it is the way we should conduct our business here at Stevens.
If we listen to each other and we support each other, and if we continue to communicate to each other, we will make Stevens the way to move.
This has been another captivating installment of Moving Excellence, brought to you by Stevens Worldwide Van Lines.